Melissa Hughes, your podcast host. Well, guys, today I am podcasting from sunny California, and I'm here at one of my business coaches' events that she runs yearly. It's called the LOL Experience. LOL stands for Live Out Loud, and we have 3 full days of business, faith, life coaching, amazing speakers. It's going to be so good, but I wanted to come on here and just actually share a little bit on a more of a personal level today about what it's like being a mom and also a business owner, and honestly just have more of like a real honest conversation today about what it feels like sometimes to pursue and chase your dreams while also chasing your kids. And it was hard. I found it leaving my kids this time. I'm going to be gone for a week because I'm going to be here at this event, and then I'm going directly from California to Raleigh, North Carolina to speak at my other good friends event. Her name's Tamara Andres. She's amazing, and she has an event called FounderCon, and it's really, really awesome. Another faith business event that's going to be so awesome. So I'm going to be gone for a week, and I just wanted to share what it felt like to say bye to my kids and kind of some things that I have done that are very practical and tactical that help me still stay present with my kids when I'm gone, and also my perspective on what it's like to chase your dreams and still chase your kids. And the reason why I wanted to share this is because, number one, I feel like there are a lot of women that choose to not go after the things that God has put in their heart because they are afraid that it's going to compromise their role as a mom. And the reason why I know this is because this is exactly how I felt. I remember when I was first stepping out into entrepreneurship and all that I was doing, I remember being like, well, I can't do this because I just being a mom is so important to me, and I just don't want to do anything that could jeopardize that role in my life. And I remember talking to my business coach, and she literally just said to me, she's like, Melissa, you can be a great mom and a great business owner. And I was like, I don't know why, but I just don't believe that. Like, if I'm traveling, then like my kids just don't feel like I'm present and feels like I'm choosing my career over them. And I would never want to make them feel that way. And she's like, why? Like, where are these beliefs coming from? And what are you thinking about those things? Like thinking about your thoughts. And I just was like, I just don't feel like I've seen people that have been able to do both. And she's like, I have a great relationship with my children, and I've pursued my dreams, and they've actually gotten to see their mom be energized, excited, passionate, see how I'm helping people, and also take the limits off of what life can look like, and also give them permission to go after the things that God's called them to do. And when she said that, I was like, oh my gosh, like I see it. And so I in full transparency, it's still like a concern of mine. Like whenever I leave, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I struggle. I'm like, do they think that I don't love them? Do they think blah, blah, blah? And I have to call my mom, and I'm like, Mom, I had to say bye to my kids and I'm struggling with it right now. She's like, Melissa, she literally would say to me, she's like, Melissa, I would go on business trips. I would go on and do things. She's like, do you remember? And I'm like, no, Mom, all I remember is that you were just always there. And I think that, and this is the second thing that I want to say about that, is I think that there are a lot of moms that are in their home all the time. Maybe they don't even have a job, but they're not present. They are just there, And I would say you can be a more present mom sometimes when you are still going after your dreams, still working as much as you are, because it's not necessarily about the both of you being in the same room. It's about the attention and the intentionality that you bring to your kids, to that relationship, and to your family. And so I've made a decision that when I'm home or when I'm not working, so I try and stop working when my kids go home from school at 3:30, which means sometimes I have to wake up early and work. But I decide I've stopped working at 3:30 and I'm with my kids. I mean, it doesn't mean that I just like get on the floor and play with them and that's all we do, because life has to happen. but I'm like, guys, cook with me. Let's like, we're going to do laundry together. And then when we do those things together, then we're going to go and play together at the park. And you better believe I get on the slides, right? I get on the swings. Like and I'm not, and this is not to say I'm not answering texts sometimes when I'm with my kids, you know what I mean? But like, I am consciously aware that you can be in the same room as somebody and not be connecting. And I just try my best that when I'm with my kids, I am present. But then when I'm at work, I am working. Like I am present, I am working. And that really comes through having just like good boundaries. Like, I will sometimes wake up at 5, work for 2 hours because my kids, it's like 7 a.m. from 7 to 8. We need to get ready. We need to get breakfast. We need to do the things. And so I will be very intentional about making sure that I'm working during that time so that when it's time to be mom, I am mom. And so those things, I'm very intentional when I'm at home. But even when I'm away, right, here are some things that I do when I go on a trip. So every time I always write my kids a letter, and I write them a note, or a postcard or whatever, and I make it seem like I'm in my destination and that they've received mail in the post. And so I will write them a note, be like, hey, Winston, how are you? I hear you're having so much fun. I miss you so much. I'm talking about you. I'm showing pictures of you because I am, right? I know I'm going to be doing all those things. And I'll say, how was your day at school? I can't wait to see you. I'm counting down the days. And then I fold it up and I put it in the mailbox. And or I give it to my husband to put in the mailbox on like Wednesday, like halfway through the trip when maybe like they're kind of feeling it a little bit more, so that they know that like I am thinking of them. I have not left. Like they are on my heart. They are on my mind. So that's one thing I do. Another thing that I do is I try and call them, or send a little video. If I'm busy at my work conference and I don't have time to call, I will send a video. I will send a video to Messenger to my husband or to my mom, whoever's looking after them, and say, hey, please show this to the kids. And so they know I'm there. The other thing that has been extremely effective that my kids really love is when we talk, we do a FaceTime. And I don't know if you guys have seen, but there are filters. So you can actually like have an effect, a filter where like, I could look like Santa, or the kids could look like a princess or whatever. But they get on, or they look like a cat, or they're a dragon, and they open their mouth and fire comes out. And we just get on the phone and we do those filters and we just laugh. And it's just a way to connect and keep a relationship and a bond with my kids while I'm not there. And they just know mom loves them, mom's there. And the other thing that I do is I also tell my kids before I leave, I tell them, guys, you are sowing mommy into people's lives. Like you are a part of this. This is something that we are doing as a family. And when I come home, I will tell them stories about what happened. I will tell them the testimonies of what God did. And I will like do my best to bring them along in the experience, even if they cannot come with me on the trip. And recently, actually, they did get to come with me, which was so awesome. And I showed them like where I was working and what I was doing. And I introduced them to the women that I was meeting. And so I do my best to make sure that they know that this is something that we do as a family, and that it's not wasted time, and still try to keep a connection with them while I'm gone. So I wanted to just share that, and also just be so real and honest that like, it is hard. It is hard, and it pulls at your heartstrings. Even my daughter, before I left, we have some fun things that are planned while my mom's there because she's visiting. And I was like, guys, you get to have special time with Mimi. I got to have special time with my grandparents, and my mom and dad run around, and it was special time. And my daughter goes, Mom, we know that you plan fun things while you're gone so that you distract us so that we don't get sad. I'm like, well, listen, honey, like better that than boring, right? So it is hard. It pulls on my heartstrings, but I just want to encourage any woman that's listening that's like, I don't know if I can, go after my dreams. Like this is like a limiting belief. I don't know if I can go after my dreams or what God's calling me to do because I'm afraid that it's going to compromise my role as a mom. And that was such a mindset and a fear that I had. And I just want to encourage you, you can take 100% full responsibility for your life and be asking your kids questions saying like, how are you feeling? What can we do? How can I fill your bucket today? What can we do that would be fun for you? And like, just be an intentional mom. It's not always about the time. It's about making the space to be and do what God's called you to do, and also not compromise the time when you are home, and just choosing to be present. So while I'm here in California at this event, and I'm probably going to be gone now from 8 or 7:30 is when I need to be there until probably 10 o'clock at night. I already called my kids. We chatted. We did the effects on FaceTime and the filters. And I think about them and I miss them, and it feels hard to be away, but it's important. It's important. It's important. It's important to have something as a mom. If this feels like it's missing in your life, to be going after and pursuing the things that bring you joy, that God's called you to, by using your gifts, by contributing into the world, if that's something that's in your heart, and to know that you are giving your kids permission to do the same when they get older. And so shout out to my mom for encouraging me, and telling me that it's okay, and that I can still be a great mom and a great business owner. So that is what I want to share. Also, if you haven't heard, I have a 5-day camera courage, or sorry, well, yes, you will need camera courage. But I have a 5-day video content challenge happening November 13th to the 17th. If you haven't signed up, please do. I'm going to teach you how you can create up to 20 pieces of content in 5 days, and it's going to be so amazing. You're going to learn everything that you need to know about learning the fundamentals of video content creation, and it's going to be so good. So I'll put the link in the show notes. Make sure you join, and I hope that you have a wonderful week.